All right, this week you are going to be looking at Zearn lessons 24, 25, 26, and 27. I want you to watch this video, follow along, and show me your work when you're done. And then you'll be ready to do the Zearn lessons this week. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to be doing on Zearn this week is decomposing improper fractions into wholes and parts. So you're going to take your improper fraction and you're going to show it as whole numbers and fractions. Let's do that. The improper fraction is 12 fifths. So I'm going to write 12 fifths. And when I look at an improper fraction, I can think, how many whole numbers do I have and how many parts do I have in that improper fraction? I know in 12 fifths, I actually can show 10 fifths and 2 fifths. And I can show that in an addition sentence by saying 10 fifths. 10 fifths plus 2 fifths is the same as 12 fifths. I can also write an improper fraction as a mixed number. And I know that if I look over at this model, I can see 10 fifths is really the same as 2. And I would have 2 and 2 fifths as my mixed number. All right, I'm going to rename my improper fraction as a mixed number. Another way to say that is that I'm going to convert my improper fraction to a mixed number. And I'm just going to write my improper fraction again so you can easily see my numerator on the top and my denominator in the bottom. When my numerator is greater than my denominator, I know I have an improper fraction and I want to convert it to a mixed number. I do that through long division. So I'm going to set up my long division, and I know that I'll use does McDonald's sell cheese, burgers, raw. When I set this up, I'm going to take my numerator and divide it by my denominator. I'm going to fix that there so it's nice and neat. There we go. And now I can go through my steps. I need to determine 3 times what gets me close to 5 without going over. 3 times 1 will get me close to 5. So 3 times 1 is 3. Now I subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. Compare, is 2 less than 3? Yes, it is. There's nothing to box and bring over, and so I need to write my remainder. Now, I need to write my mixed number. That's the whole goal here, is to write a mixed number. So, my whole number in my mixed number is going to be 1. I'm going to write a mixed number. And so I'm going to have 1, and then my denominator will still be 3, and my remainder actually becomes my numerator. So 1 and 2/3 is the same as 5/3. And like we talked about last time, you can use multiplication to check whether your improper fraction is the same as your mixed number. Is it true that 1 times 3 plus 2 equals 5? 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2 is 5. They are equivalent. On the previous slide, we converted an improper fraction to a mixed number. This time, we're going to start with the mixed number, and we're going to convert it to an improper fraction. So you need to recognize that this mixed number is the same as this mixed number. I'm going to write it again just so that you can see it with the numerator actually over my denominator. And when we're writing a mixed number as an improper fraction, the denominator stays. So I can right away say my denominator is going to be 6. And all I need to do is say 2 times 6 plus 3 is going to be my numerator. So I can actually write that by saying 2 times 6, and then I'm going to add the 3 plus 3. 2 times 6 plus 3. And we know that 2 times 6 is 12 plus 3, and that's going to be over 6 with my denominator. 12 plus 3 is 15 over 6. So I have 15 sixths as my improper fraction. When we compare mixed numbers, our job can be really easy, or we can have some extra work to do. Our job is really easy when we look at our whole numbers first. So I'm going to compare 2 and 1/3 to 5 and 6/10. The first step is to look at my whole number. I have a 2 and I have a 5. Right away, I know that 5 and 6/10 is greater than 2 and 1/3 because my whole number is greater in 5 and 6/10 than it is in 2 and 1/3. Now, if I look at my next problem to compare, I have 2 and 1/3 compared to 2 and 5/6. You can see that my whole numbers are the same. We're going to look at those first. My whole numbers are the same. Now I have to compare the fraction part. And I can't compare fractions that don't have like denominators. So I need to find a common denominator for 1/3 and 5/6. I know that I can say 1/3 is the same as 1/3 times something to get a denominator of 6. I can multiply 3 times 2 to get 6 in my denominator, and 1 times 2 is just 2. So really, I am comparing. Remember, this wasn't just 1/3. I had 2 and 1/3. So my new comparison can be, let's get this pen to work. My new comparison can be 2 and 2/6 compared to 2 and 5/6. And now it's easy for me to see that 2 and 5/6 is definitely greater than 2 and 2/6. Finally, we are going to compare mixed numbers and improper fractions. This is really tough to do if I'm comparing a mixed number and an improper fraction. So I need to either convert my improper fraction to a mixed number, or I can convert my mixed number to an improper fraction. It's really up to you which one you want to do. I'm going to choose to convert my mixed number to an improper fraction. So I'm going to take 1 and 2/3, and I'm going to convert it to an improper fraction. So I'm just going to rewrite 1 and 2/3. Now you should remember that my denominator stays, and I'm really going to say that I'm multiplying 1. I'm multiplying 1 times 3 and adding the 2 in the numerator. So I'm going to say 1 times 3 plus 2. And I know that 1 times 3 is 3. So I have 3 plus 2 in my numerator over 3 in my denominator. And that means that I'm really going to have 5/3 as my improper fraction. So now I'm ready to compare. I can compare 10/3 compared to 5/3. So I'm just going to bring this down and I'm going to say 10/3 compared to 5/3. I know that 10/3 is greater than 5/3. You are ready to go for Zearn this week. Have a great day.